Interested in using Ubuntu on your PC, but don't want to lose Windows 10 or your personal files? You're in luck, because you can install them side by side. It's called dual booting, and here's how to do it.
Free your mind.
Whether you're starting your journey into the world of free software, or simply installing a new Linux distro, this tutorial offers easy-to-understand step-by-step instructions for installing the Ubuntu 17.04 operating system alongside a Windows 10 installation. The installation method in this video is typically referred to as dual booting, meaning that when you turn on your PC, you will be able to choose between two operating systems that are both installed on your hard drive when your PC starts. These are the 5 steps involved, which we will cover in greater detail. 1. Download the Ubuntu 17.04 operating system in an ISO file format from Ubuntu's website. 2. Download Rufus, a program for creating bootable USB flash drives. 3. Use Rufus to create a bootable USB flash drive and copy Ubuntu onto it. 4. Restart your PC and load Ubuntu from your USB flash drive. 5. Run the Ubuntu installation wizard to install Ubuntu 17.04 alongside Windows 10, preserving your data and giving you the best of both worlds. You can pause this video at any time if you need to. Alright, let's get started with step 1. Download the Ubuntu 17.04 operating system in an ISO file format from Ubuntu's website. So here we are at the Windows 10 default desktop. The first thing you'll want to do is open up a web browser. Because Microsoft Edge is installed by default, we will use that in this video, but this will work with any web browser. Once the browser is loaded, the first thing we will do is download a program called Deluge. Deluge is an open-source BitTorrent application. Its purpose is to use the torrent protocol to download large-size files quickly without errors. We prefer this method because downloading large files straight from a web browser can sometimes incur lost or incomplete data packages, and sometimes programs won't work right because of this. Using torrents ensures that the data is verified completely before the download is considered successful. It does add an extra step, but it really is worth the peace of mind that there won't be any issues with your download. To download Deluge, we will need to go to deluge-torrent.org. Once the website is loaded, we will need to click on Download. And then from the Downloads page, we will scroll down to Microsoft Windows and choose the link that says XP Vista 7 through 10. This will take you to Deluge's download page that shows all of the versions that they have built. You'll want to choose the download link that is right under the link that says Parent Directory. This will be the latest version of Deluge that you can install onto a Windows system. Make sure that the ending file ends in .exe. Once you've clicked that, Microsoft Edge will come up with a dialog box at the bottom that asks if you want to run, save, or cancel. We will want to save. When the download is complete, Windows Edge will say that it has finished downloading. We can then conveniently choose Run at the bottom of the browser window. This will start the setup program to install Deluge on your computer. A Windows security prompt will appear asking if you want to run this setup program. Let's click Yes. Now we will quickly get through the setup wizard to install Deluge so we can start downloading the Ubuntu ISO image. First, we will click on Next. Then we will agree to the license terms by clicking I agree. The installer will give us the option to choose the components we want to install. You can simply click Next. Lastly, the installer will want to choose the destination folder. The default is more than fine. You can also click Next. And finally, click on Install. The installation process will likely take under a minute. You will know it's complete by the word Completed at the bottom of the dialog screen. Once it's completed, you can simply click Next. The installer will ask if you want to install an optional additional package. This is not needed for the program to run, so we are going to click No. This will save us time by not installing another program. To open Deluge, you will go to the Start menu and scroll down to the applications under D. Then click on the Deluge folder, and then finally the Deluge program, which looks like a teardrop. Windows Firewall will appear the first time that you run the program, asking if you want to give it permission to access the network. You can click on Allow Access. This will give Deluge the ability to access the Ubuntu servers and to download the Ubuntu ISO image quicker. Now that we have Deluge ready to go, we are ready to download Ubuntu. The last part of step 1 is to go to Ubuntu's website. If you're not seeing all of the menu options at the top of Ubuntu's website, you may need to maximize the window in order to see all of the options. From the home page, you will hover your mouse over Downloads and choose Alternative Downloads. From there, you will scroll down to the section that says BitTorrent, and you will choose the link option that says Ubuntu 17.04 Desktop 64-bit. Microsoft Edge will open up a Save dialog box at the bottom, asking what you want to do with the torrent file. We can conveniently choose Open from Microsoft Edge, and Windows will open it straight in Deluge. The Deluge window will come into focus, and you will see a new window appear, with the option to download the Ubuntu ISO file. We're going to click the button at the bottom right that says Add. This is going to start the download process. The file size is about 1.5 gigabytes. Depending on the speed of your internet connection, the download can take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half or possibly even more. You'll know the download is complete when the progress bar in Deluge shows all the way to 100%. Once the Ubuntu download is complete, we can begin step 2. Download Rufus. Using your web browser, let's go to Rufus's website to download the program. Type in rufus.akeo.ie. Rufus is a program that will take the Ubuntu ISO image file you downloaded and put it onto a USB flash drive. It will then take that USB flash drive and make it bootable, meaning if it is plugged into a PC, that PC can boot the operating system that's directly installed on the USB flash drive, without using your internal hard drive or affecting any of your personal data. Before starting Rufus, make sure that you have your USB flash drive already inserted into one of the USB ports on your computer. Once Rufus's website is loaded, all you'll have to do is scroll down and go to the Download section. From there, you can click on the link under the last updated text. This will reflect the latest version of Rufus that is available for download. Click on the first link available under the Download section, and then we're going to click on Run. A Windows security prompt will appear asking if we want to run Rufus. Let's click on Yes. The first question Rufus will ask is if we want to allow Rufus to check for program application updates online. This isn't necessary for what we're trying to do, so for now we'll just click on No. By default, Rufus should automatically detect the USB flash drive that you have plugged into your computer. It'll show up in the Device section. A good indicator that the device field is actually showing your flash drive is the size of the storage space to the right of the device name. This is usually measured in gigabytes. It should match the storage capacity of your USB flash drive. You can also check to make sure that the drive letter inside of the device field matches the drive letter in Windows Explorer in correspondence with your flash drive. If the letters are the same, then you're good to go. There are a few quick things that we have to change. First, we'll change the File System field by clicking on the drop-down box, and we'll change that to FAT32, which is the default setting. This is important because this is the file system that your computer can use to boot from the USB flash drive. Next, we're going to tell Rufus to use the Ubuntu ISO image that we downloaded earlier. To do that, let's go down to the checkbox that says Create a bootable image using, and then a drop box that should say ISO image. If it doesn't say ISO image, click the drop-down box and change it to choose ISO image. Now let's click on the button to the right. This will let us choose the ISO image that we're going to use to create the bootable flash drive. By default, Windows should open up to your Downloads folder, which should already have the Ubuntu ISO image in it. If you need to locate the ISO image file, you can move your mouse to Downloads, and then left-click to open the contents of your Downloads folder. The file name will be titled Ubuntu-1704-desktop-AMD64. Let's click on that file, and then click Open. We should now be ready to go. Take a moment to double check to make sure the flash drive doesn't have anything important that needs to be backed up. To start Rufus, you simply have to click Start at the bottom of the program. A window might appear saying that a syslinux download is required. If it does, go ahead and click Yes. This will download some necessary files in order to make the USB flash drive bootable. Once that's completed, you'll see a new window that's titled ISO Hybrid Image Detected. You'll want to make sure that we have selected Write in ISO Image Mode, which is the recommended setting, and then click OK. Lastly, you'll see a warning window pop up letting you know that Rufus is about to delete all of the data on your flash drive in order to reformat it and make it into a bootable Ubuntu flash drive. Take care in making sure that your data is already backed up and that there is nothing else important on this flash drive. Once you've done that, then click OK. Rufus will begin reformatting your flash drive and then copying all of the Ubuntu operating system files onto it. This process can take a matter of minutes. Rufus will display some details below the green progress bar as it's copying the files over, letting you know which stage of the process it's at. You'll know Rufus has successfully copied over Ubuntu onto your USB flash drive when the progress bar is solid green from beginning to end and the word Ready shows up below it. Congratulations! We're ready to begin step 4. Now you'll want to close all of your open programs that are on your desktop, and then you'll want to restart your computer. Step 4. Use your PC's BIOS boot manager to load Ubuntu from the USB flash drive. Most desktop and laptop PCs today have a boot manager to let you choose which device you want to boot from, whether that be your computer's internal hard drive, a CD or DVD disc, or a USB flash drive. To access the boot manager, you'll have to press the right keyboard key before you see Windows loading, that is, before you see the Windows logo appear on your screen. The most common keyboard shortcuts to enter the boot manager in order of popularity are F12, Escape, F10, and F9. Try these one at a time, pressing one key on the keyboard repeatedly right after you power on your PC. If you see the Windows logo appear, you didn't press the key in time, or it wasn't the right key. No problem. Just wait for Windows to get to the login screen, and then restart your PC. And try again with a different keyboard key this time. Once you press the right key, you'll see a screen that looks like this. The appearance and layout might differ from PC to PC, but every boot manager will show a list of drives that your PC can boot from. If the USB flash drive containing Ubuntu is the only flash drive or external hard drive plugged into your PC, it should be fairly easy to spot. Look for any option that says USB in the title. This will likely be your USB flash drive. Use the up and down arrow keys to move the highlighted cursor over the USB boot option, and then press the Enter key. Your PC will now load Ubuntu and run it straight from your USB flash drive. This is a live working version of the same operating system that will be installed on your computer. This will even give you a chance to explore Ubuntu and try it out before you install it on your machine. When you see the Ubuntu desktop, you're ready to begin step 5. Install Ubuntu. When you first load Ubuntu from the USB flash drive, you will see the Ubuntu 17.04 startup screen. When the desktop has been successfully loaded, you will see a welcome screen. This will primarily do 3 things. It will let you choose your preferred language, it will give you the option to try Ubuntu, and the option to install Ubuntu. Because we are installing it locally to your hard drive, we're going to click Install Ubuntu. There are a few options for you to choose from in preparation to installing Ubuntu. The first option is to download the updates while installing Ubuntu. This isn't necessary, so we're going to leave it unchecked. The second option is to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, flash, MP3, and other media. This software being installed is not open source or free software, but it does give users the benefits of being able to play things like MP3 files, flash on websites, as well as proprietary drivers for some hardware which is needed to run. We're going to check this box. If you prefer to leave the box unchecked and work exclusively with free and open source software, you have the option to do that as well. And then click Continue. Next, we're going to choose the installation type. By default, the Ubuntu installation program will detect that Windows 10 is currently on your system, and will ask what you would like to do. The default setting is to install Ubuntu alongside Windows 10. As it says below, documents, music, and other personal files will be kept. This is the option that we're going to want, so make sure that you have this option selected. The second option will do exactly what it says. Erase the disk entirely and install Ubuntu. This will delete all your programs, documents, photos, music, and any other files in all operating systems. And the last option is something else. This allows the user to resize and create partitions themselves, which is typically recommended for more advanced users. So ignore these two and simply select Install Ubuntu alongside Windows 10. And then click Continue. The last thing we're going to do is set the storage size amount that each operating system will have. Your hard drive has a set amount of storage space available on it. What Ubuntu does is it sections off your hard drive and divides them between the 2 operating systems, saving a part of the hard drive for Windows and another part for Ubuntu. The numbers below show the available storage space that will be available to the operating system. You can use the slider option in between the 2 partitions in order to scale the size for each operating system. It's a good idea to give half and half to each system. Half of the hard drive for Windows and half for Ubuntu. This gives a good amount of space for you to use on both operating systems so that you can perform your tasks without issues or the risk of running into low hard drive space. So make sure that you have the slider set so that each operating system is given equal halves of your hard drive. To do so, you want to left-click with your mouse and hold on that slider bar, and then move it to the left or the right with your mouse to adjust the storage space size. Once you have the storage space set on each operating system to your desired amounts, we're ready to install Ubuntu. We'll move our mouse to the bottom right and click the button that says Install Now. Ubuntu will come up with a new window making us aware that we're about to make changes to the hard drive. This is kind of the point of no return. If you have any doubts about using Ubuntu, I'd recommend that you click go back and you try it out before you install it. Otherwise, go ahead and click continue and Ubuntu will start creating the new partitions for your computer. And finally, Ubuntu will open up a new window confirming that you want to make these changes and install Ubuntu on your system. It will list the hard drive that is being modified, and it will list the new partitions that are being created, removed, or changed. We are all ready to go, so let's click Continue. And this will start the installation process. We're almost done. Ubuntu is now beginning to install onto your hard drive. While it's installing, you have a few options to configure. The first one you'll want to do is set your local time zone. You can left-click with your mouse and choose the region where you live. This will make sure that Ubuntu gets the right time that's appropriate for your time zone, and then click Continue. The next thing you'll want to choose while Ubuntu is installing is your keyboard layout. You have a wide variety of keyboard options to choose from. You can choose a new keyboard layout by left-clicking on the menu options, or you can leave it as is if you're satisfied. Then click Continue. The last part in the setup process is to choose your username, your computer name, and a login password for your user account. These options can be whatever you want them to be. You can choose whatever name you would like for your user account and for your computer. The main purpose of giving your computer a name is so that it can be identified on a network if you're doing any networking tasks or sharing any kind of folders. Ubuntu will automatically start typing in a username as you type in your full name. You can leave this the way it is, or you can change it to something else depending on your preference. Once you have your user, computer, and password fields entered, you're ready to click Continue. Now all you have to do is wait for Ubuntu to finish installing on your system. They've created a handy slideshow that will show you some of the benefits and features of Ubuntu while the installation process is taking place. You'll see the progress of the installation by the orange and white progress bar at the bottom of the window. Above it, you'll also see some text describing specifically the task that is taking place for the installation. Feel free to click on the right arrow on the right side of the window to scroll through the slides and check out some of the neat features Ubuntu has. Once the installation is complete, the install window will close and a new window will open, letting you know that the installation has completed successfully. Congratulations! You have successfully set up a dual boot system running Windows 10 and Ubuntu. Nice job! You can now restart your computer by clicking Restart Now. Ubuntu will remind you to please remove the installation medium. Make sure at this point that you remove the USB flash drive containing the live Ubuntu operating system on it, just to make sure that your computer won't boot from the USB flash drive again. And then press the Enter key. When your computer boots, you'll now be greeted with a new window that you've never seen before. This will have a purple background and white text. This is called the Grub bootloader. By default, you have 9 seconds to make a selection on which operating system you'd like to boot from, and then it will boot to Ubuntu by default. You can use your up and down arrow keys to move the highlighted cursor between Ubuntu, which is the option at the top, and Windows 10, which is the option at the bottom. Advanced options and memory tests are just a few additional features that they provide for technical purposes. Let's move our cursor down to Windows 10 using the down arrow key, and then press Enter. You should see something very familiar. Windows 10 will continue to boot up as normal, and you can use your Windows 10 partition on your hard drive, just as you did before. Instead of logging in, let's click the Shutdown button, and then click Restart. As you restart, you'll be greeted with the Grub bootloader again. This time, let's choose Ubuntu, which is already highlighted by default, and press the Enter key. Your PC is now booting to your new Ubuntu installation, which is installed on your hard drive. Once Ubuntu is loaded, you'll be greeted by the login screen. This will show your PC name on the top left, your username in the middle, and your option to put in the password and log into Ubuntu. If you type in your password and press the Enter key, you'll proceed to the Ubuntu desktop. You're now ready to use Ubuntu. Congratulations! You have installed a dual boot setup which provides the best of both worlds. If you found this video helpful, please leave us a like and feel free to subscribe to get more tutorial videos on Linux and free software. If you're curious about other distributions of Linux, feel free to check out our video on the top Linux distros of 2017. It's a great video overviewing the features and benefits of each major popular Linux distro. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay free.